Welcome, and thank you for joining me today to practice some yoga asanas and postures that are helpful for me when I'm feeling a little bit ungrounded. Grief can let you sometimes feel like you're in a free fall. The world as you know it doesn't exist anymore. The world as you knew it is no longer here. And it is a very destabilizing feeling. And that can also end up letting our bodies, not just our minds, everything about us might feel a little bit unstable. In Ayurveda, there's a term called vata, a vata condition. It means a vata condition is when you're not feeling stabilized, when the winds are blowing around you and sweeping you up with them. So our practice today is going to involve some postures to help with grounding. And the first is a very simple seat, Sukhasana, coming into a regular comfortable seat. Sometimes it's nice to sit on a blanket, a pillow, or something, just to give your tailbone a little bit of a lift. And you can stay in the seated position. I mean, there's a reason that yogis traditionally meditate with their feet crossed and their legs like this, because it is really creating a nice stable base for the rest of your body to rest. I know this is often not comfortable for people. You can have either leg in front. Sometimes you might just want to have your legs out. Any kind of nice stable base that works for you and feels comfortable for you. And take a moment here. Even I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Feeling the seat, your legs, feet. Maybe make sure your fingers are down beside you so that you can feel that connection to the ground. Your tailbone's connected. And take 3 or 4 full, complete breaths here. Inhaling in, pausing at the top, and then exhaling completely. And as you exhale, just feel yourself melding in with the surface beneath you, releasing into it. Another option here is to place one hand under each armpit. Give yourself a little hug here. That might help you feel a little bit stabilized. Helps with balancing and centering our breath as well. Notice as you're inhaling and exhaling the sensation of the air coming in through your nostrils. Feeling that flow. And go ahead and release here. Remove a prop if you have it. And we're going to come into child's pose. So we'll come onto our shins. Just let your hands come out in front of you. You can bring your head down either to your mat or the surface beneath you. If you would like something a little bit more comfortable, you can either bring a block or a pillow on top of a block, depending on how your neck is feeling. And just let yourself be here. It might feel nice for you to have your hands back behind you, to maybe keep yourself a little bit tighter in. Or if you prefer, your arms can be out in front, or your arms might make a pillow in front of you. This is your practice, so it's whatever feels most stabilizing and grounding for you. Take a moment to explore the options. Feeling your shins and the top of your feet on the mat, your torso connected
to your thighs as you fold over. Your arms and your hands connected to the earth. And you can, again, stay here as long as you like. Feel free to pause the video and rest in this posture for as long as feels good. It's also a very nice way of melting some of the tension that might be built up in your hips and your lower back. And when you're ready to return, we'll bring ourselves back into upright and we'll come to tabletop. Move your pups aside for now. And we're moving to a posture where we're a little bit more open now in the chest, but we're still got a nice stable base. So you've got your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Feel your fingers. Maybe bring attention to the L between your thumb and your forefinger as that comes down onto the surface in front of you so that you're taking pressure off of your wrists. You want to have as much support in your fingers as you can so that your wrists don't bear the brunt of the weight. And then you can breathe in here, inhaling in, feeling the earth beneath you as you lift your heart a little bit open. Breathing into that heart, being really gentle with it, nourishing it with fresh breath here. And then exhaling, pressing away. Exhaling. And we'll flow through that a couple more times. Inhaling in. Exhaling. One more time here. Inhaling in. Exhaling. Inhale yourself back up to table. And then when you're ready, you can curl your toes under and press yourself into downward dog. Downward dog in and of itself is another really nice grounding practice. So feel free to, again, linger here as long as feels good. You want to, again, make sure that the pressure is evenly distributed so that your wrists are protected. You can either have your heels raised or your heels down. It depends on how your hamstrings and the back of your legs are feeling today. Letting your tailbone press away back behind you. And then tiptoe your hands up, your feet up to meet your hands. And let yourself just be in a forward fold here. Bend your knees here. It'll feel more stable and grounding, even if you don't have to bend your knees. For the effect of stabilization, I invite you to try this with your torso just resting on your thighs. You can have one hand on each elbow if that feels good. And just let yourself, maybe you sway a little bit here. Here is a time where you have a little bit of control. You have actually full control of what you do right now. My words are guidance. And then using your hands, walk yourself up. So feeling that connection of your hands on your body as you slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. You can bring your chin to your neck and to your chest. So your head will be the last thing to rise up. And then we will meet in Tadasana. So we'll be standing here for a moment, taking some breaths, feeling your feet beneath you. Maybe lifting your toes up, and then one at a time, place each toe down on the ground. You might gently move forward and back between your toes and your heels.
Notice the inner and outer edges of your feet. Notice that your hips will be over your ankles. Your shoulders will be over your hips. Let your hands come to your side. Feel gravity as it pulls the energy. Inhaling in, imagine you're bringing in energy from the ground, pulling the energy in, and exhaling to release and recycle. Take another deep breath in here. Really feeling stability in your legs, bringing your palms to touch, feeling the connection of those palms together as you slowly bring them down. Taking another deep breath in. This time we're going to gently fold forward, over, back into a forward fold. Come up to a halfway lift. And then place your hands back down, and we're going to step to downward dog again. This time we're going to lift our right leg up, hips square with our toes pointing down, and then bring your right knee up so that your right foot comes between your hands. Help it up however you need to, and have a nice generous amount of space between your feet so that you're on as if you're on railroad tracks as opposed to on a balance beam, creating that strength and the stability that will help you feel stronger. Bending that front knee, we're going to come up into a high lunge here. So you can bring that back knee down. You can have the feet as far apart as is comfortable. You want your torso balanced. You want your knee either over or behind your ankle. You don't want it to shoot over. And pulling again, feeling the energy in your legs, tightening up your thighs as if you have magnets in between your thighs that are pulling them together to lift your torso up. You can feel nice and strong here. And then go ahead and bring your hands back down to the mat. Step back to downward dog. And take a breath or two here in downward dog. Reconnecting, regrounding. And then we'll take our left foot up, bringing the left foot up between our hands. Nice distance between our feet as we come up to a high lunge on the opposite side. And using that energy in our legs to remind us of our strength. It can be easy to forget that we have an inner strength. So we're helping to rebuild that here as we become more secure in the stability of these postures. It's an analogy for processing our emotions as well. And then go ahead and exhale, placing your hands back down, coming back to downward dog. We'll walk our feet up to meet our hands, coming nice up again. Bringing our fingertips together, feeling the energy as it comes back down, feeling it flow in our body now as we've been moving a little bit. And now we're going to come to tree pose. Tree pose is a grounding feeling as well. I'm going to start on the right side. So imagine this is a tree trunk. Your right foot is a tree trunk, and you're really rooting it down. You're firmly planted. Your roots run really deep. You don't even know how deep and wide and expansive they are. And then we will take our left heel and bring it to our right ankle. And you may just stay here. This version of tree pose is a great one for stability. Feeling, again, as if you've got roots that are reaching out, nourishing. The roots of trees interact with the energies of the roots of other trees, and they support each other in subtle ways with their energy and communications that humans are just now beginning to recognize. And that's why I like that analogy so much for this posture as well, because sometimes we don't feel supported. We don't feel understood. We don't feel as if there's anyone out there who really understands what we're going through. But if your roots reach wide enough and are open enough, you may find those resources, that support system that you need. So don't give up. It's there. And go ahead and release back down, and we'll do the same on the opposite side. So we'll shift our energy and attention to the left, bring the right heel to the left ankle, and we will stay balanced and connected here for a moment. If you'd like, feeling a little bit more energy and power, feel free to lift your arms, your branches as they reach up. If you'd like a different version of tree, you can go ahead and do that here. If it's part of your regular practice, you can bring your feet to your calf or to your thigh, anywhere but your knee. But for the sake of stability, I invite you to just rest here. Maybe if you're feeling super stable, you may even close your eyes for just a moment here and notice how you sway a bit, just like the branches of a tree. Go ahead and release and exhale back. We're going to come down now. So first we're going to do a goddess squat. So step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Your feet can be out at an angle, and go ahead and bend your knees, and you can bring your arms into cactus. Maybe breathe here a few times, inhaling and exhaling, letting the energy just move through your body, but you're feeling the stability of that base. You've got a nice wide base because your legs are wide, your feet are planted. If you feel like building a lot of heat here, you can do this at a faster pace. But you can also go nice and slow and intentionally, and just feeling the extension and the connection and the power of this at a slower pace as well. And when you're done, you can bring your hands to heart center, walk your feet in a little bit, and we're going to come down into a Malasana squat. If this is not comfortable for you, feel free to sit on a block and pause here for a moment. Another breath or two. Again, feeling the connection of your feet on the earth, the stability that having your legs and your arms touching each other provides. You're creating your own safety and support system for your body, for your well-being. And then remove a prop if you have it. Using your hands, gently let yourself come down onto your back, rolling down one vertebra at a time. And when you've arrived, grab a block. If you don't have a block handy, maybe find a book, something, a box, and first come into a nice position where your feet are hip distance apart. And then you're going to press gently into your feet just enough so that you can slide a block underneath. And let yourself rest here in supported bridge. Again, we're going to reconnect here. You can feel your shoulder blades, your spine, the soles of your feet, your arms. You can either have your arms out to the side or feel free to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly here. And just feeling that connection. You can stay here as long as you'd like. Feel free to pause the video if you want to rest here for a while. Another option that might feel good is to raise your legs here. Or if you're in a place where you can bring your legs up against the wall, legs up the wall pose is an excellent stabilizing posture, a resting posture. It's a great one, especially if you're feeling unsettled before you go to sleep. It's good for your circulation. If that's not comfortable for you, however, feel free to just stay in supported bridge. Checking in with your breath, feeling just the flow of your breath up and down your spine, from your head to your tailbone, tracing a line with each inhale and each exhale. When you're ready, you can lift and remove the block. Bring your knees into your chest, roll side to side. Roll over onto your favorite side, and you can just let your head rest in your arm here. And sometimes this is a nice place to just close your eyes and take a little nap. When you're ready to move on with your day, and come back to that seat that we started in. Hopefully this practice has helped you find a little bit of a sense of stability and grounding. I thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day.